Hello, everybody. We're powering through all 31 conferences, some easier than others. And after the NEC last night, your broskies in basketball are back the very next evening for even more punishment as it's OVC night. The captain, Mike Holland, joins me right now to break it all down. Recording live from somewhere. This is One and Done.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that One and Done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball información. And we're powered by the Galaxy's greatest website. It's drroto.com. I'm your sometimes humble host. My name is Jay Heinrich. And if you didn't know, now you know. I'm the conductor. Shout out, happy retirement, John Wall. I'm the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train. Find me on X at Dr. William Cannon for John Wall tweets. Every once in a while, some angry and some sports stuff. At One and Done CBB is where you can follow the show. But more importantly, follow this man at MC Holland 34 over on X. Around here, he's known as El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship. He does the ship. I do the train. Follow him over there on X. The OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Conlon. Mike, what it do?
Back-to-back Jacks again this week, man.
Back to back, not the OVO, the OVC.
No,
Mike.
OVC back-to-back
Yes.
Jacks, man. So, yeah, this has been a conference that it's got a little bit of everything going on with it. So, happy to dive in, but I'm pretty excited about the way the live chat has just been on fire during the MEAC shows and
Yeah, killer.
the NEC. Like, we're having a good time up in here, and we've got an OG in the house. So I was to say, man, we gotta get the slow clap going for the one, the only Forklift Jeremy. What's up, Forklift? Yeah, man, it's just been a lot of fun talking through these previews and having everyone diving in with, CBB content and their takes and some wackiness, which is what we love.
The liveliest live chat in all of college basketball. Right now, hit that subscribe button and join 1,563 of your closest friends and hoop heads. Speaking of OGs in the chat, Cam's hopping in with Darren and Forklift Jeremy. The gang's all here, but it wouldn't be the same without you hanging out with us as well. All of you watching that aren't in the live chat, do yourself a favor. Join the liveliest live chat, the most ball-knowingest live chat in all of college hoops, right here on One and Done. Good stuff, Mike. Let's get into the OVC, an overview before we break it down into our world-famous tiers. Recap last year, graded out 28th out of 31 in strength of conferences according to Ken Palm's metrics. Southeast Missouri won the league regular season title anyway by 2 games over SIU Edwardsville, but alas, the Cougars would exact revenge in the conference tournament final, knocking off Southeast Missouri 69-40. 8. And then what did that get him, Mike? Tell me, what did that get him? Get you good
What's
enough
your
for
prize?
a 16 seed, and here you go. Here's Houston. All right, lost by 38. But got to the tournament. Shout out to you.
Got some money, got the tournament,
There
got a
you
shirt.
go. Yeah, they had, I wouldn't say they had one shining moment. I mean, maybe like a flicker of something because they were there. But what are your thoughts on the OVC last year, this year, moving forward? What are your initial thoughts on the conference?
Yeah, well, this conference has definitely gone through a major overhaul due to realignment over the last 3 to 4 years. We've seen Austin P, Belmont, Murray State, Eastern Kentucky, Jacksonville State all exit, and then we got additions like Lindenwood, Southern Indiana, Little Rock, Western Illinois. Just
a lot of directions in there, Mike.
Yeah, man. In and out, and here we go, man. But it's kind of like the NEC from last night, man. There's not really any blowouts in this league, so if you're looking for a league that's going to have decent competition night in night out basis, I mean, this is one of the ones that you look to down here in the mids. But what's been kind of interesting, Jay, is like when you look at it, this was one of the more up-tempo style conferences. And now with all the changes and the realignment, man, like there's not really the running guns, man. Like we don't really have those. And this is the second straight year that we were 30th in effective field goal percentage in this conference out of 31 conferences. So not getting up and down and shooting the threes. A lot of that has to do with Belmont, Murray State headed out the door. So Eastern Kentucky as well as one of those teams that plays like that. Yeah, man. So we'll kind of see if that tends to stay in form where every possession is going to matter because there's not as many possessions. And we're just going to have some close games when it comes down to it.
If you're not going to play pretty basketball, at least have some close games to keep things interesting, right? And that's what you get with this league. Let's sit back in the live chat before we get over to the tiers. Darren asking, how many kinds of Eagles are there in the OVC? There's 3 different Eagles and actually also 2 different types of Hawks that we'll get into here out of the 11 teams. So a lot of soaring beasts in this conference, or at least they would like to think that they are. But hop in the live chat with Darren and Cam and Forklift Jeremy, all the crew in there. Do yourself a favor and also follow at Fantasy Nav in those Twitter streets. Our guy Eric the Blue setting the studio up, getting you the fire graphics you're going to see later. And then shout out to our guy Nape C Hustle, the Hall of Famer himself, CC Hustle, pushing the buttons tonight, doing a great job as always. All right, Mike. 1,563 of our closest friends now zoning in on the low tier in the OVC. Tractor beam into the low tier. The bottom of the conference, the foundation, if you will. And in a conference like this, any of these, we're going to talk about a lot of teams that just lost a ton of talent to the portal. And that's what you're going to get, right? Guys looking for a better opportunity, or at least the grass looks a little bit greener somewhere else. And these conferences end up having to take the guys that are just looking to find a way a lot of the time. And we'll see how that works out. One of those teams that that basically with Coach Shulman and Tennessee Martin, that talk about an up and a down first year for Coach over there. They outperformed a lot of expectations. Most people didn't really have them winning 9 games in the conference. Now trying to build some momentum here. How do you build off of that? We've talked about coaches recently that have found ways to, okay, we're going to hit that high note really early in their tenure, and then they take a step back. How do you respond to something like success? 9 wins for a first-year coach in any conference. They're probably pleased with that, looking to gain a little bit of momentum. But this is one of those teams who saw the portal just basically rip out. You ever seen Dumb and Dumber? Of course you have. The scene where Jim Carrey reaches into the guy's chest and pulls out his heart, puts it in the doggy bag, and then hands it to them.
Straight up
That's
Mortal
what
Kombat.
happened to the Skyhawks roster after last year. This is going to be a young and inexperienced team. Outside of Afon Trinka, averaged about 8 points and 3 dimes for them last year. Torvik has them projected to be the second worst defensive team in the conference. So this may be a situation. It's not good. No, it's not. So this may be one of those things where Coach Shulman, the next time we talk about them in a conference preview, is looking to rebound, because I kind of feel like there's a little bit of a step back here for them. And then, Mike, the Western Illinois Leathernecks, hey, even though we're going to talk a lot of Eagles, we still get the Leathernecks in this conference. So nothing wrong with that. 6-14 in the conference last year. Talk about a team that outperformed expectations a couple of years ago. The Leathernecks were 13-5 in the conference, dropped back down to 6-14 last year. Coach Chad Boudreau and his squad struggled on both ends, Mike.
Yeah, and here we go again, man. Completely overhauled roster for this upcoming season. They do return guard Kamari Wilson. He averaged a couple of points per game, but only played 13 minutes. So he's gonna be the lone wolf that knows what's going on with the program. They're going to lean on him and Indiana State transfer guard Tyron Cook to try and solve some of these question marks that they had offensively. But unfortunately, I think those question marks, Jay, along with lack of defensive pedigree, is going to hold this team back. So that's why we have them down here in the low tier. The Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles, they were 10-10 last year, and you have Coach John Pelfrey just so close to breaking through, man. Just feels like just right on the edge there. I don't think it's going to be this year because he lost Jalen Johnson and Rodney Johnson. That was a pretty dynamic backcourt, and that's no small task in this conference. The roster is going to look much different here. You have a forward, Jawan Nichols, pretty solid player in 18 minutes. I mean, you like the numbers, 8.5 points, 4 boards. Like, he's got some nice upside, but that's a pretty tall ask from the Johnson & Johnsons here. And I don't know, man. They're just kind of like, it feels like they're one of those programs just looking for a breakout candidate to kind of stay relevant this year. And then finally, man, we have Morehead State down here, 10-10 last year as well. So we're projecting some step backs here, man. From Tennessee Tech, Morehead State, and Tennessee Martin. But you look at Morehead, and like year one under Jonathan Maddox, it was a roller coaster, man. Like, it was a stark contrast to what we saw offensively under Preston Spradlin. He got up and down, shot a lot of threes. Riley Minix, they had those guys. That was a lot of fun when they made the NCAA tournament a few years ago. But this is another team that's in a full reset. There's going to be a couple of players that are thrown into larger roles. Like, you have guard George Marshall. He averaged 7 points per game. He's going to be tasked with improving the offense. You have a transfer guard, Josiah Legree. He's from Indiana State, and a transfer forward in Tyrone Farrell from Rhode Island. Like, they're intriguing upside-wise offensively. I just don't know how this is all going to fit and how the defense is going to improve enough to be competitive nightly. So I do think we're going to see like 2, 3, maybe a 4-game fallback here into the low tier.
Yeah, it's just hard on a year in and year out basis to maintain the level of success. Even like you talk about it winning 10 games in the conference, and like, okay, let's just, if we can create that as our floor right down here, then on any given night, you play a little bit of defense. And in this conference, who knows what could happen? Teams can jump up from the low to the high tier and drop back down on a season and season, month to month, week to week type of a basis. A lot of close games like we were talking about in the open a little bit earlier. So we'll see how it goes from Morehead State, Tennessee Tech, Western Illinois, and Tennessee Martin, who we have down in the foundation, the low tier of the OVC. Shout out to all of you for hanging out with us here on One and Done College Hoops. Make sure you push those like and subscribe buttons. If you go to Google and type in WON ampersand DONE, one and, you can type and too. One and Done College Basketball. And you go to Google and do that. Our YouTube page pops up. Just click on it, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you spell it WON, right? One and Done. Because, here around these parts, especially in the season, trying to get this bread, as our man Eric likes to say. And we will have our DFS shows, the MC Holland 34 Invitational over on DraftKings that we like to do and have a lot of fun with.
Of course.
with 30 or 40 of our closest breadheads that we like to hang out with over on DraftKings. So make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons, notification bells. We're not even a third of the way through these conference previews, Mike, and we're rolling, though. We are out there. We're doing 3 a week at this point. Rolling
heavy
through
lifting.
all these conference previews. Heavy lifting, right? I mean, think about talking OVC in mid-August. That's definitely some heavy lifting, if you ask me. Who else is doing that? Not many people, for sure. Cam hooking us up right there with the subs. We appreciate the love here. We appreciate the love from Cam. Everybody in the live chat, all the support that y'all give us, definitely appreciate that for sure. Darren also saying, there we go. Darren is a frequent Googler of One and Done, apparently. It pops up in his, I don't want to know what else is in your search history, but I'm glad that One and Done is. And our guy Riley,
Hey, Riley.
OVC time. Good to see you.
You said, not enough. The low tier is not good enough for Riley. You said, let me get into this mid tier.
Riley's hopping into the mid tier, and let's get to that mid tier for Riley and everybody else hanging out with us tonight. Eastern Illinois Panthers will lead it off. It feels like Coach Marty Simmons is right. Speaking of right on the cusp, right? And again, it's razor thin in these conferences, the difference between being like coach of the year and then just falling on your face. Like, there's a lot of coaches that can lay claim to being right on the cusp there, and Marty Simmons is one of them. The defensive principles are squarely in place there for the Panthers, but the offense has been, hold your breath, cover earmuffs for the kids, sub 330th for his 4-year tenure.
Yeah, got to shoot it a little bit better.
I mean, Darren actually put out a poll on Twitter and asked what was our favorite subject back in school, and we got one answer, and it was math, right? I don't want to do math on this show, but sub 330 is not good over his 4-year tenure. So a solid opportunity, though, to get to 10 or 11 wins as a ceiling. Guard Zion Fruster averaged 11.5 points for them, 35% from three right there at the Heinrich line. Returning, along with forward Cooper Jacoby, averaged 12 and 9 last year. Tennessee Tech transfer guard Kyle Layton shot 34% from three, and LIU transfer guard Andre Washington, coming off of an injury, Mike, but throughout the course of his career has at least been solid from behind the arc. So again, this does feel like a team that, with the defense in place with Coach Simmons, this team has, I feel like, established a floor for themselves. And it was probably last season. Can they get on the right track, get a couple of buckets in, and the Panthers can maybe take a step forward? Eastern Illinois, the alma mater of the great Tony Romo. Yeah, I mean, do we capitalize
Random facts?
the G in great before Tony Romo? I don't know if he was that great,
I guess
man.
so.
Like, I mean, he was pretty good. He was really good.
He's
really
a good
good.
holder. He's a good holder.
Oh wow, oof. Too soon still for the Cowboys fans.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles, the last of the Eagles, if you were keeping track, Darren, on the show, the screaming variety, who started their third year of D1 play with some strong mid-major wins. Unfortunately, after the winter break, though, it was, as they say, tough sledding for the Screaming Eagles of Southern Indiana.
You expect me to follow that up, man? I guess I'll try here, man. Stan Gerard's going to be searching for some answers this upcoming year, and it's going to come from the transfer portal because there's nobody that returns here that played over 17 minutes a game. It's only a couple of guys, and maybe I'm being a little bit bullish on this. Maybe they should be down here in the low tier. I really like Trey Thomas from Bethune-Cookman, the transfer that's coming in. This guy can get buckets. I know he's inefficient, but he's been asked to, take on a ton of shots. He's gonna be asked to do the same thing here, but in this league, man, like you got to get a guy that can break down the defense. I think that's something that he can do. Love Tennessee Tech transfer Ola Ajaboye, who can protect the paint, 5% shot block rate. So you love that pairing of those two guys. Some shooting. Cardell Bailey from Maryland Eastern Shore. We'll see if they can, get the floor stretched with him. And then Sheridan Sharp from Southern Illinois. He's a quality playmaker. Should allow Thomas to kind of play off the ball a little bit. So. Probably a little bit higher on Southern Indiana than probably what I should be. But Lindenwood down here in the mid tier at 10-10, like Southern Indiana, man. Like the Lions have only played 3 D1 seasons here, man. But they managed to hit the 500 mark in OVC play last year under Coach Kyle Gerdeman. The biggest difference last year was the jump in tempo and then playing some solid defense. So you'd love to see that. The offense definitely needs to come along, and I think we see some progression with the projected backcourt. Second team all-league performer, Jadis Jones, he was the freshman of the year last year. He's back. Usually you see those guys transfer out. But 12.5 points, man, like another year under his belt. I think he's going to be really good here. And the Gerdeman, he struck gold in the portal, man. Miami, Ohio transfer guard, Makai Cooper, he's a solid player. He can shoot. He's a decent creator. I think your front court guys with like Robert Lewis from Arkansas Pine Bluff, those type, these guys in the front court, they're gonna need to protect the paint if they want to continue living in this tier. And then the last one here, Jay, we have is Tennessee State, 12-8 last year. Coach Benny Collins, he left for the NBA this offseason. He's going to the Memphis Grizzlies as an assistant. And as of a month ago, former Duke guard, national champion, winning player Nolan Smith, the assistant at Memphis, is taking over Tennessee State. So that was literally 31 or 32 days ago. But it's officially named the head coach here, man. What are your thoughts on Nolan Smith and what he can do? Oh, we got you on mute, Jake.
Sorry about that. Thanks, Mike. We saw how Riley feels about him a little bit ago. It flashed up on the screen there. He's very bullish on Tennessee State. And the thing about Nolan Smith is he's going to have some talent on both ends of the floor. Aaron Nkrumah, easy for me to say, 11 points, second team OVC, and Travis Harper, 10 points on 37% from 3, along with Carlos Williams, 11 points, all back. So that's 3 guys right there averaging double figures. The X factor, and this may be, I don't know, Riley, let us know if you feel like Jalen Petrie's role on this team will be invaluable in terms of whether or not they can make that next step there. Does it feel like a team that could take a step back? Only because of the uncertainty, like you said, like, this is not I mean, when you talk about a less than ideal situation coming into a college basketball team in this day and age, and you started in July,
Yeah.
like
That's a
you might
yeah.
run into a little bit of trouble here. Okay.
Yeah.
But um, who knows, man?
Yeah,
It's
some talent.
Riley and Nolan Smith we trust, it looks
Yeah.
like. So they're on board with it for sure. We've got them in the mid tier. Hey, we like to joke around that this is exactly how it's going to happen. Put it in stone, right? When we record these shows, it might not, but this is how we're feeling about these teams in this current moment. Obviously, I think it says a lot about Nolan Smith and what we feel about Tennessee State that they're in the mid tier with a new coach after a month, like
Yeah.
figuring things out. I think that does speak to the talent on this team, and good luck to Coach Smith and
Yep.
the Tigers. All right. Got through the old low, through the old
Low.
mid tier as well. And now that everybody has pushed those like and subscribe buttons, over 1,560 of everybody's favorite hoop heads and ball knowers have already pushed that button. 1,563, I think, is what we started the show with.
Yeah.
Let's get up to 65. Let's get a couple. Let's
Why
boost those
not?
numbers
Get
up.
in there.
Let's boost
Come
those
on.
numbers up. Get in there if you haven't
Go
already.
grab someone's phone.
Yeah, like,
Just take it.
Cam plays PlayStation with cats, and he's got them pushing buttons. Call up. You're doing people favors by getting them.
Yeah, man.
It's almost like you're providing them with all of the college basketball information that they would ever want right here on One and Done.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, who doesn't want that, right? So
I
tell all
won.
the hoop heads in your life about One and Done college basketball. Push all those buttons. Show your broskies in basketball some love, because you get stuff like Darren saying that he will not be playing Jaden Epps in the NC Holland 34 Invitational this year. He said it. He has said it every single show since the end of last season, and Darren is sticking with his guns for sure. All right, let's get to the high tier, Mike, and it starts in Little Rock.
Oh yeah. So
I mean, man, there's not much else going on in Little Rock. Okay, so
some hoops.
These games should be hopping, man.
Yeah, man, and this is a solid team. I gonna disagree with Riley because I think they're the runaway favorites, Jay. Like, they're not just in line to be at the top of the conference, but they're knocking on the door of being. We're looking at them for our top 5 mid-major show, and it's going to depend. KK Robinson's missed all of last year. First, Coach Daryl Rocker, he's done a great job since they entered the OVC. The amount of talent on this team it's pretty eye-popping, and KK Robinson's a big factor. They won 12 games without him last year, and he averaged 16, 6, and 4 in the previous year, first team all-conference. I believe he started his career at Arkansas. So, I mean, this guy comes back, even if he's 80%, like, he's going to dominate this league again. And then you have Jonathan Lawson. He averaged 15 points, 43% from 3. Those two guys are going to play next to each other in the backcourt. It's pretty scary. He was first team all OVC. So it's going to be a nightmare for these teams to defend that aren't great defensive teams. And, oh, by the way, on the defensive end, Jay, they have the OVC Defensive Player of the Year coming back. In Tiongtach Gatchek. I probably just absolutely murdered that.
Sounded great to me.
Gatchek is his last name. But yeah, 9.6 boards, nearly 4 stocks a game. So, like, just those 3 in general. But then, like, you get Braxton Bayless to come over from Western Kentucky. He's a shooter. You add in Xavier Big Kachienze, who's got talent, obviously, as a former P5 player. To me, like, this is the best team in the conference, Jay. And we got 2 other teams up here, man. I don't know. I feel like they'll be competitive, but I do see Little Rock winning this league by 2+ games.
All right, Southeast Missouri Redhawks here, 15-5 in the conference last year. They are a challenger to Little Rock. The Redhawks knocked them out of the Ohio Valley tournament to end their season behind veteran coach Brad Korn, spelled like the band, Korn, for those metalheads in the 90s and 2000s. Coach Korn, I mean, when you look at what makes a challenger in one of these mid-major conferences, in any conference for that matter, continuity, experience, and talent. And there's a little bit of all of that here with the Redhawks. I mean, how often does a team on this level of the conference bring this many players back of this quality? Not a ton. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
that Martin Washington out the door to the studs, right? But that just means BJ Ward, Braxton Stacker coming on in, giving bigger roles at this point. The front court is going to be the key here on whether or not this old make or break the roller coaster as it goes. Korn usually plays a smaller lineup. And then Brendan Terry is back, averaged 11.2 points for them last year. But where they run into trouble against a team like Little Rock and how they line up is size, right? So Red Hawks are just going to try to play fast, get out there and just get a ton of possessions in. They're not going to outmuscle you. But what are they going to do to overcome that size differential when it comes to the boards, when it comes to D'ing those teams up, the top, especially, Mike, the top teams in the league?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think offensively, Southeast Missouri is going to give them, and also the experience, right, and the coach. Like, it's possible, right? But SIU Edwardsville, I mean, heck, they just represented this conference last year, and Coach Brian Baroni, like, he put it all together in his 6th year. So, can they withstand the loss of the Player of the Year, Rayshon Taylor? That's a big question mark. I do love Ring Malleth, their forward, coming back, 11.7 boards. I think his game is going to continue to progress as a stretch big. The backcourt's going to look a lot different. They're going to point to the point guard Jack Campion coming in from Southern Indiana. He averaged over 4 assists in this conference last year, and then guard Darius Robinson from Oral Roberts shot 33% from 3. You're not great, but he's shooting 5 attempts a game. So, he loves to shoot it up. He incrementally increases that percentage by, just 1 or 2%. Like, that's going to make a huge difference. So I think they have a pretty solid floor. They have a little bit of upside here if they hit on, like, development with someone like Wing Joe Valerie or, like, the NAIA guard they have coming in, CJ Hall. But, yeah, man, tough for me to picture anyone outside of Little Rock, just barring health. Like, they just have so much firepower. Got you on you,
I
Jay.
was trying to push the button on that time and it wouldn't let me. Riley is really feeling Tennessee State, right? And as being that team that would pop up here as we flash more.
He's got Terry Brandon winning the Player of the Year from Southeast Missouri. So yeah, calling out the shots, I love it.
Yeah, we love it when everybody plants their flags here on One and Done. Bunch of ball knowers in the chat, of course. This is going to be a fun one. Again, we love conferences where even if you're not going to give me pretty hoops, I need close games. I don't want to see the 8th guy on the bench, for Linderwood. I don't care. Okay, like I want to see close games.
Yeah.
I want to, but before we get off the air, we need to address something, Mike. Our guy Cam started the Iowa bowling team.
The prestigious Iowa
Hawkeye bowling team. And more importantly, he met our guy Pete Weber. Who do you think you are? I am.
I love it.
That's what you get here. What you get here in the live chat.
Find that kind of information.
Ball knowers, world travelers, organization founders. It's the best of the best. It's the best of the best right here. Who else? Where else do you want to hang out on any random night in August talking OVC hoops? Right here on One and Done. So make sure you push those like and subscribe buttons, like it says right there, boop, 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 right there on your viewing device. Mike, I mean, back to back. Had to get one more Drake reference in on the OVC conference here. Before we get out of here, Mike, back-to-back nights. We're going to take a break tomorrow night, but I believe we're coming back Thursday. What do we bring in the masses?
Man, we're going to bring them the Patriot League, which in the chat over the past week, man, they've been pretty excited and fired up about the Patriot League. So we'll see if they bring it. We'll see what they do.
Oh, it's already been brought in.
Oh, it's been brought in already. Okay, my bad.
It's not been brought in. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. We definitely appreciate you for playing your role, doing your part in the one, not playing a role. We all have our roles, but we all do our parts in the One and Done universe for sure. Oh yeah, thanks for the reminder there, Darren. I'm moving the studio around now so I can get that Rod Strickland card out for the other day. Where is it? We were talking about, what were we talking about, Mike? We were talking about, because we did.
Yeah, NEC LIU.
Here it goes right there. Skybox Autographics, Rod Strickland. What's the year? 1998.
Well, he wants the 87, Jay. So
Sorry, I don't have the 87 Rod Strickland, just the 98 autographics Rod Strickland autograph. Maine. I think my man Terrence Howard would say. Shout out to everybody for
yes,
hanging out with us tonight. Shout out to at Fantasy Nav in those Twitter streets. Eric the Blue, the best football follow, the best fantasy follow. Just follow it at Fantasy Nav in those Twitter streets. I got Eric. Shout out to Nate pushing the buttons tonight. The Hall of Famer CC Hustle at the Real Napier over on X. Follow us at the show page at One and Done CBB, all spelled out right there on the socials. Just push them all. When the betting content starts to come on the secondary social sites, you're going to want to be a part of it. So make sure you just go over there and hit all the buttons now, because it's going to come once the season rolls around. Plus, you're following us there, and then every once in a while we throw up a show you didn't even realize was happening, and then boom,
Right.
we're in. So push all those buttons as well, and do yourself a favor. Get over to Twitter and follow this man. Around here, he's El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship, at MC Holland 34 on X. One and Done on the shirt for life. Shout out to you, Mike. Shout out to everybody for hanging out with us. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to those that don't hop in the chat. We see you hanging out with us anyway, and we love that you are playing your part in the One and Done universe as well, just by hanging out and watching for sure.
One and Done after dark. We need to get out of here,
We
Jay.
got to get out of here before it gets too crazy. Shout out to everybody. Tell somebody that you love them. Patriot League on Thursday. My name is JAYHEINRICH. Come again. We'll see you.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drrodo.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.